The UFC heads back to the Apex this week and brings with them a short notice flyweight headliner between Japanese prospect Tatsuro Taira and rising Korean prospect Hyun Sung Park. Now, again, off jump just as I've been doing all week. I am out of town, hence the poor audio quality for this segment. I apologize for that, but we will be back in the studio on Saturday for UFC Vegas 109, and everything will be back to normal. But still want to get this content out for you guys, so I appreciate you guys bearing with me. So, without further ado, I hope you're laced up and ready to go because we're off and running with the first fight of the night between Piera Rodriguez and Souza. I think Rodriguez has made tremendous improvements in her wrestling game and her top control, and I think that will allow her to grind Souza out, although I would be a little bit wary about taking her at chalk considering the dangerous nature of Souza's game. I'm still taking Rodriguez to win this fight by decision. Next up, we got Rafael Estevam going up against Felipe Bunes. Estevam should be able to keep his undefeated record in check here, but that third round is such a liability in all of his matchups that I wouldn't be surprised if Bunes is able to pull something off late. But in terms of a first show prediction, I'm going to go Estevam and Estevam by decision. Next up, we got Austin Bashi taking on short notice UFC debutant John Yannis, who comes in as the Fury UFC champion. However, I think Bashi will be too much for him here, and that will lead to Bashi finding that knockout within the second or third round. Next up, we got Nick Klein going up against Andre Pulyaev. The line has started to sway towards Pulyaev, but I do like the underdog price that we're getting on Nick Klein. I think his aggressiveness, strength, and BJJ will be too much for Pulyaev to deal with, and that will lead to Klein eventually finding his submission and getting the victory. Next up, we got Rodolfo Vieira going up against Trishan Gore. I really like me some Vieira in this spot, as I think he'll be able to shut down the power striking game of Gore, drag this fight to the ground, and shortly thereafter find a submission and force the tap from Gore. Next up, we got Rinya Nakamura going up against Nathan Fletcher. Nakamura is trying to bounce back from his last defeat, and I think this is a perfect stylistic matchup for him to do so, especially in emphatic fashion. Whether he chooses to utilize his wrestling in defense and just strike with Fletcher to land that big shot, or he wears Fletcher down from top position and eventually finds a ground and pound, I think Nakamura finishes this fight within 2 rounds. Next up, we got Kevin Vallejos going up against Danny Silva. I think this is a great matchup for Vallejos to show off his power striking approach. Earlier this week, I was giving some credence to the Silva side, but hearing that he is struggling to make weight at this point in time, I don't think he'll be prepared to eat the damage that's going to be coming his way. So give me Vallejos and Vallejos by knockout. Next up, we got Neil Magny going up against Elizio Zaleski. I've been a big Magny supporter in the back and have cashed a few underdog tickets on him as well, but I think that his time has come to a close and Zaleski will show that once again. Look for Zaleski to either chip away at the lead leg of Magny or eventually get this fight to the ground where he has a superior BJJ advantage, and I think that will shortly see Zaleski get that finish within a round and a half. Next up, we got Karol Rosa coming in at minus 170 going up against Nor Cornolle. Rosa is the far superior mixed martial artist here, bar none. The only thing that Cornolle might have an advantage is power, but I think she'll struggle to get off on that as Rosa puts on a ton of volume on her, mixes in some takedowns and control time, and I think that will lead to Rosa winning this fight on the scorecards. Next up, we got Esteban Ribovics going up against Elvis Brener. This fight could give us fight of the night honors, however, I think that Ribovics is the far superior fighter here, and it all depends on how long Brener's durability will keep him in this fight. I think Ribovics touches him up, finds that big knockout, and gets him out of there within 2 rounds. Next up, co-main event, we got Mateusz Rebecki going up against Chris Duncan. I think this is a great matchup for Rebecki to get this winning streak going, as he should be able to avoid the guillotine threat that Chris Duncan has provided in his last 2 fights. And I think Rebecki will run through him, put that pressure on him, put that pace on him, and eventually finish him in 2.5 rounds. And that brings us to the main event where we got Tatsuro Taira going up against Hyun Sung Park. Should both of these fighters have had a full training camp, I may have leaned on the underdog money on Park. However, I know for a fact that he does not want this fight and was kind of forced into it, or at least just trickled into it because of a call from, I believe, one of the heads of the UFC, Hunter Campbell, and Park felt, kind of insistent on taking this fight at that point. But I think it'll be a bad move for his career. I think we'll see Taira get to his wrestling, get to his BJJ, and I think by the third or fourth round, we'll see Taira wrap up his submission and force the Korean fighter to tap. There you guys go. Quick picks for UFC Vegas 108. I'll be back tomorrow for the Locky Two-Step / Locky Trinity free parlay segment, as well as the prop drop. I'll see you guys then. Peace.